The Tallboy Experience.
Hey, this is Keisha Jackson. Do you want the experience? Well, Tallboy is going to give it to you.
If you want the exclusive, you want the Tallboy, because he's going to bring you the exclusive.
Well, I mean, I'm soul, blues, you know, it all kind of meshes into it to a certain degree. You know, my mother is Millie Jackson, and so I grew up going to shows with my mother, sitting backstage while she performed, and she was always on shows with B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, ZZ Hill, you know, and then other times she would be on shows with the Stylistics and Dramatics. So sometimes it was soul shows and sometimes it was blues shows. So it's kind of in my blood. It's what I've always done. What made me want to do it, I think I got the fever for it when I was just a young kid and I saw my mother doing it, and I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. I've always wanted to perform. I've always done it, even though my mother was always dead set against me doing it. She was always dead set against me doing it, but it was kind of in my bones, in my blood, and that's what I decided that I wanted to do very early on, from 16 years old. So she hired me as a background vocalist to sing with her at 16, and I've been doing it ever since. I think some of the lessons that I've learned, the most important lessons is, this is the music business, and the business of music is more important to the artist than even the music, you know, as far as sustainability is concerned. I mean, you know, there's so many artists that don't take care of their business, and they get caught up in the music end of it and in the limelight of it, and they don't do the right things with their money, and they have someone else handling their money. So that was the most important lesson that my mother taught me along the way, because she always handled her business. She always handled everything. She was very, very much on top of her business, and she taught a lot of her peers to do the same. So that, I would say that that's the most important lesson that I've learned along the way. I don't remember my very first performance by myself. I think my very first performance by myself was in a talent show or something like that when I was a kid, because I used to always enter any talent show. I mean, I guess now they're called open mics, but any talent show that was happening at the time, I was always in it. But I was always singing background for my mother since I was actually 15 years old, and she would call me to do solos on certain songs, and at that point, I just had to kind of go for it, figure out what I was going to sing off the top of my head, spur of the moment. Sometimes it would be at the Apollo or Carnegie Hall, or it could be like a juke joint somewhere down in the South somewhere, but I was always called on the spur of the moment. So those were the moments that I think built my character and helped me to just be more on point, you know what I'm saying? Just kept me on top of my toes more than anything. To the next generation of musicians, I say, study. Music is important, but it's really important to know your craft. Any opportunity that you have to perform, you should do it. I think a lot of times people are caught up in performing and how much am I going to get paid and how much, but your dues are really paid just by merely performing. You need to perform as much as possible, because you never know when you're going to be called for that big situation. So if you really love it, you should do it any opportunity that you're given to do it. I want to be remembered as honest. I want to be remembered as who I am, you know, which is honest. My mother's daughter, for sure. Definitely straight, no chaser, you know, but I want to be known as a good performer. I want to be known as someone who upheld the legacy well. That's the biggest thing. I don't know if there's one artist that I would like to work with. There are several artists that I would like to work with, but I would say I would like to do a project with my mother. I mean, just to top it off, I've done a song on some of my mother's records, one of my mother's records before, for a play that we did. Young Man, Older Woman, back in like 95, between 95 and 98, we toured that. But I would like to do a project with my album, with my mother. And I think that would, I'm fine. After that, I'm fine. Yeah. But I love working with, I love so many people. I appreciate so much music and so many different artists and so much. I'm open to so many things that the average, I think, artist is not. But for me, I think that would cap it off for me, to be able to work with my mother on an entire album. That would be it. My latest project, I have a song called Give You My All, and it was written by me, and it's called Give You My All, but it's about a woman in a relationship, and she is basically recognizing that the person that she loves, she's been in a relationship with, but she hasn't really she hasn't given him her all the entire time. She's kind of slacked off, she's kind of messed up, and now she wants to take she wants a second chance to be able to do that. And the other side of it is that for my audience, I want to be able to say to my audience, every time I hit the microphone, I want to be able to give you everything that I got. That's what it's about. The music industry where it is today, it's different, but I think a lot of people may not like the way music is going, but I really appreciate, I like authenticity for me. I'm open. What I don't like is the fact that a lot of our music gets jacked, and a lot of our music gets taken and called something else, and then they create new genres to put us in because they no longer want us to qualify for blues or something or soul. But we are the root. Black music is the root of all music. So as long as we know who we are, we're always going to prevail. That's what it's always going to be. Our music, black music, soul music, blues music, country music was born out of the blues. Soul music was born out of the blues. All music was born out of the blues. That's bottom line. Whether people choose to realize it or not, we are the creators we are the root of everything, of it all, of all genres of music. And I think once we realize that, then we'll start understanding, we'll start taking pride, and we'll start not worrying about how we're categorized or, whether we're accepted by a certain part of society or anything like that. We are the root of it all, so we should take pride in that. Honestly, I am very active on social media, so I ask that you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Keisha Jackson, and I'm on Facebook as well. I have an artist page and a personal page. If you see my personal page, you see I'm always chiming in on something, politics, whatever's going on in the news today, and I just check me out, look me up, let's have a conversation, let's talk. That's the kind of person that I am. Very real, very very forthright, and get at me. The one thing that keeps me motivated is my children and just life itself, knowing that there's always something better. There's always another step better than where I already am. That's always going to keep me motivated, because none of us has arrived, as you say. So knowing that there's always another level, that's what keeps me motivated. To my fans, I say thank you. I thank my fans for their support. I mean, through the years, I was signed to Sony. I've had so many different dimensions to my career, but I'm glad that I can say that, and I'm just really glad for the support on social media. I'm glad for the support, people who have purchased my music, people who come to my shows. I just say thank you so much.
Think big, think tall, think tall boy.
Tall boy.